Hey, North Idaho, you're listening to Speak Up North Idaho, and normally hosted by Barbara Carpenter. I'm Gary Lorette. We are broadcast on 1400 AM in Sandpoint, Idaho and surrounds, and 1450 AM in Bonners Ferry. And of course, you know, if you stay on the air and listen, Clark Howard comes on right after me. I love that guy, man. I have his book of bargains, and you can really learn how to save money. But we're going to talk about spending a little money today, because joining me right now is Dory McIsaac, who is the Operation Executive Director for Mystic Farm Wildlife Rescue. Hi, Dory.
Hi, how are you?
Now, Dory, one of the things that I want to ask you about is you have an event coming up. But before we get to that, let's talk about what Mystic Farm Wildlife Rescue is.
Okay, Mystic Farm is a wildlife rescue out in Sagal.
Mm-hmm. We
We take in orphan baby moose, deer, elk, pronghorn, and they're commonly known as ungulates.
Oh, really?
Ungulates, yes. And we're licensed through the Idaho Department of Fish and Game, but we receive no funding from the state, nor do we receive funding from federal. Everything is donation and volunteer. We take in these little guys if the moms are, the does or the cows are killed on the highway,
Right.
or something happens to them. That's the ideal situation. We tell people the main thing about the rescue is do not touch. If you find a baby, do not touch the baby. Call Fish and Game or call me, and we'll assess the situation. Because oftentimes people are quick to pick them up, and if they do and they don't know what they're doing, or they'll keep them, and they end up with me, unfortunately. But the good part about what we do is the babies are eventually released back into the wild. So we rescue, rehab them, sometimes broken legs, whatever they have, and release them, soft release, back into the wild, and which is why I'm pretty much the only one that touches them.
Right.
So they don't bond with a lot of people. So that, in a nutshell, is Mystic Farm Wildlife Rescue.
You know, this is fantastic, and I pride myself on being very knowledgeable about what happens in Sandpoint. Obviously, when you interview 400 or 500 people, you know, in business and the community, you get to learn a lot. I didn't know that you guys existed, and I think this is fantastic. How long have you been in operations?
Well, we moved down from Alaska. I won't go into the whole tale here, but we moved down, and we were in southeast Idaho, and I actually heard on the radio one day that there was a baby moose had fallen into a window well, basement window well in Pocatello, and I immediately called Fish and Game, and I said, I have the knowledge and the expertise on this. I was involved up in Alaska. Well, unfortunately, that little one had already died, so I said, well, in the future. Well, the next year I received a call, so this was back in 2006 and 7, and they brought me 2 baby moose where the mama had died giving birth. That first year I had, I think, 2 mule deer. And it just grew from there. We became a nonprofit then in 2007. So we're a 501c3. And it's just grown every year since. And I moved up here to North Idaho just over a year ago and set up the operation.
Well, there's an obvious need, and let me point out something to you listeners. This is, other than Alaska, we have the most wildlife per square mile than any other area of the lower 48. And in the McArthur Lake Wildlife Corridor, this is the major traverse point for wildlife going from one end to another. And we all know this. I mean, you can be in downtown Bonners Ferry or Sandpoint and have moose walk right through town, especially in a big snow year. Or you can see wolves and cougar, and so we know they're out there, but to have somebody take care of them is fantastic. Now, you guys obviously are 401k or 501k.
501c3.
Or 501c3 and with 401k. Yes,
That's okay. I wish, eh?
We wish I had more money. Now, how are you getting your donations? How do people find out about it?
Well, we have little cards out and little donation boxes with the little cards with the information. And we do have a website. It's Mystic with a Y, mystic-farm.com, and has everything on there, how to donate, how to learn more about it. There's a lot of pictures on the website to just kind of go, aw, you know. But I write grants, just get out there and hustle. We do all natural candles that for a donation you can get a candle, that sort of thing. But the biggest thing right now, of course, is the banquet. We're dependent on.
Yeah, what is the banquet? And that's your event coming up.
Yeah. Jeanette, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. The banquet coming up is going to be September 17th at the Stillwater Ranch on the Dufert.
Sure.
And Kay and Brian have kindly helped us in giving us a place to have this first-time function. So, the Texas Roadhouse is going to be donating the food for us.
Which is,
also.
by the way,
We're not donating, folks. We have to pay for it.
Right.
So we do need ticket sales.
Yes, we
Right.
do need tickets.
They're catering
providing
the food.
Right.
Right.
Oh, boy, talk about good food, too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You know, my girlfriend
That's a draw.
moved here from Austin, and that's one of the things. I really miss that Texas Roadhouse Grill, and boom,
Yeah.
that one went up right there as you enter Coeur d'Alene.
Well, Gary, there you go. Bring her to the banquet.
I know.
There'll be one.
Great,
September
thanks.
17th.
I gotta watch what I say on the
That's
air.
right.
You know, it costs a lot to take care of these animals. How much does it cost to raise a deer or an elk?
It's approximate, obviously, because every situation's different. You know, some need vet care, some don't, whatever. Sometimes, there's more shelter involved and building pens, whatever. But I estimate between $400 and $500 for a deer, which is from the time I get the little fawn until usually fall release or soft release when they're on their own. The moose or the elk, we try to emulate as closely as possible what the mom does in the wild, so they stay with me about a year, and that's about $3,200 per animal. So it's not cheap.
Wow.
As rewarding as it is, it's not cheap.
Now, some people don't have money. What if they wanted to donate their time?
Well, time helps when we need volunteers to help put up panel fencing, things like that. We also need produce.
Cool.
Very much so do we need produce right now. Lettuce, carrots, apples, fruit, whatever, because these babies are in a transition stage right now from the bottles to eating only solid things so they can be on their own. So contact me if you have produce.
Now, you don't have to go to the banquet if you want to buy a raffle ticket. Where can people buy raffle tickets?
Well, you can get them from me at 208-241-7081, Dory, or you can call Jan at 208-610-6669, or Coeur d'Alene at the Wholesale Sports, or at Big R Sporting Goods in Sandpoint.
Awesome. We just got done talking about Big R. I love them. To recap, everybody, this is the Mystic Farm Wildlife Rescue. They have a banquet coming up, and you can buy raffle tickets for that banquet. The banquet's on September 17th, Saturday, at Stillwater Ranch. Go to Mystic, that's with a Y, -farm.com, and we hope that you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming on the show, ladies.
Thank you,
you.
Gary.
Back soon.